Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. This episode is brought to you by The Wellness Paradigm, a holistic health coaching company shifting the way that women understand and heal their bodies. Through bioenergetic testing, functional lab testing, and functional nutrition, we uncover what traditional approaches often overlook so you can stop guessing, start healing, and finally feel like yourself again. No more one size fits all protocols, just real answers, deep rooted healing, and the clarity and confidence you deserve to feel incredible. It's time to shift the paradigm of women's health. Now, on to our show. And good afternoon, Lisa.
Hello.
Oh, so excited that she is here, guys. This is going to be a fantastic conversation, or should I say shitty conversation? Um, um,
It's about to get real.
literally, and if you don't like that word, please scroll. Lisa is just a gut guru. She's a gut and psychology practitioner who really helps people heal from chronic symptoms that are keeping them stuck and unhealthy in life. And, as we both know very much firsthand, gut health is linked to everything in our life. And so many women struggle with this. So I love that you're bringing light to this. So I'd love for you to introduce yourself a little more on who you are and how you got into this work.
Okay. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for having me. And
Course.
always good to see you. So I'm a gut and psychology practitioner, and that sounds super boring, but basically what it means is your gut is your second brain. And so if your gut isn't right, your thought process isn't exactly where you want it. So you might be super stressed, you might have anxiety, you might not be able to focus, or you might, have some other things like depression or OCD. But when your gut is balanced, the access to the brain balances too. So that's hence the gut and psychology part of it. So I'm 59 years old, I'm married, I have 4 adult boys, and I got into this when our oldest son, who just got married a month ago, so fun, when he was young, he was born perfectly great. And then he developed asthma and eczema through his, toddlerhood, childhood. And so by the time he was 12, he was not growing very much, and he was in middle school, and he had lesions of eczema, and it was just embarrassing at that point. Embarrassing. We had been to so many doctors, blah blah blah. And so he was diagnosed with osteopenia at age, oh my gosh, younger than 12, before that even. And, we were just at our wits' end. Like, the doctor is like, well, he probably shouldn't play, football. He should probably play an instrument or, play chess. I was like, what? This is so weird, because he had taken so many oral steroids. The skin up here, which is where his eczema was really bad, was thinning. He just, and when you're not sleeping, you're not growing. And so he was on, I think I counted like 8 to 12 different oral and topical steroids every day. And I just was at my wit's end. I mean, this is 12 years in the making. And so I got with a naturopath, my first introduction to a naturopath, and got on the telephone and called him because Google Zoom wasn't a thing. And so I was like, here's what I need, here's what I have, here's what I gotta do. He's like, have you tried an elimination diet? And me not knowing then what I know now was like, elimination, give me a break. Like, his eczema is so bad. We've been to all these doctors, all these hospitals, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, I mean, I don't know. You haven't tried it. Why not? I was like, okay. So I did, he goes, find something to dangle in front of him to get him to do this diet. So I got 3 $100 bills, and I laid them out in front of our son. And I said, every week you eat exactly, and I did this in the summer because he was home. Every week you eat exactly what I give you. I'm going to give you $100 bill. He was like, I'm in.
Nice.
So he did it. First week, no dairy, no gluten. It was literally meat, veggies, fruits, nuts. That's it.
Mhm.
He could have spoonfuls of peanut butter. That's it. There was no bread. There was no pizza. We weren't a pop family. And I wasn't really, all of our dinners were cooked at home, lunches at home. I wasn't a fast food mom, but obviously, we were drinking milk, we were eating yogurt, we were eating cheese. So after 1 week, I looked at him and was like, oh my gosh, I think the black circles are kind of going away. And my husband was like, yeah, okay. So here's $100. Next week, he said, Mom, I'm only using my inhaler one time a day. I was like, are you kidding me? And he goes, I think I slept through the night because the eczema was so bad he would itch and he would have to get up and take Benadryl to go back to sleep. And so, and that doesn't even count in the meds. So, week two, the lesions, like in the creases of his elbows, were shrinking. And then on the third week, he had like shine to his eyes. You know what I mean when I say that, right? I was like, oh my gosh, he looks totally different. So I get back on the phone with a naturopath, tell him, he's like, told ya. So we stayed with this. I go back to the pediatrician. I say, this is what I found. This is what I learned. And I kept a journal. He said, that's great. I want him on X number of ounces of milk each day because he has osteopenia. And I was like, no. And I lost it. And I went home and I cried because I knew what I saw. And I told my son and my husband, I said, we're sticking with this. I don't know why, but we're going to do it. And 6 months later, we had to go in to get a DEXA scan. And it had totally reversed without 1 ounce of dairy. And that's when I decided to go back to school and learn how it works in the body. And I did. And it's been my work ever since.
That's amazing because so many people, especially when it's your kid. I mean, when it's you,
Oh,
especially mom, you brush it off, brush it off, brush it off, and then, but it's when it's your kid, it's like, wait, I'm gonna do everything possible to
yeah.
figure it out because it's so sad and at such a young age too. I mean, that sets them up. People who are on these antibiotics and steroids, their chance of things like autoimmune disease, skyrocket, asthma, allergies, and it's like, if we only knew that this was really stemming from the gut, I mean, your whole life gets rocked and changed, and what's amazing is elimination. So many people, I mean, there's obviously so many different facets to gut healing, and for some that's maybe not enough, but for a lot of people it's like, just try it, especially now in the year we're in right now. There's more gluten and dairy free options than there ever has been before. Like, it's easier than it has been. I'm not saying it's easy, I'm fully gluten and dairy free, but it's like, just try it. What do you have to lose? Just see, give it 30 days and then reintroduce it, see, just start there. And just see if it helps. And sometimes it takes longer, but something so simple as that can change the trajectory of your life. Give it a go.
Yes. Oh my gosh. He grew 4 inches that year.
Wow.
He grew 4 inches. Now he was 12, but he was always in the fifth percentile for height and weight his whole life. He grew 4 inches and now he's 28. He's married. He's a black belt, jujitsu. He's an attorney. His skin is gorgeous. His body is a temple. He's all about it. And I just think that had I not done that at that point of his life, I wish I would have done it sooner, but I didn't know. Had I not done that, he'd still be on those meds. I mean, and I remember thinking, there's no way he's going to grow. He just wasn't. I mean, and he looked awful. He looked awful. The black circles, people were
Yeah.
like, he looks like a zombie. I was like, thanks.
Well, I mean, y- that's another thing too, is just like you don't know what you don't know. And the best
Mhm.
time to take action is now, right? And it's
Right.
like, there's so much healing that can be done, whether you're 12 years old or 59, it's never
Right.
too late. But I am curious, when you kind of went on this health journey, this healing, this gut healing journey, what were certain things that really one surprised you, but on how maybe your method, which is different than other people's, kind of differed from some other maybe quotation gut healing coaching protocols that you would, see on social media.
So after I went through that experience with my son and I got a master's in holistic nutrition, I had to tackle my own issues. Um, I had all kinds of, I was
Yeah.
anemic, I was running marathons, I was doing what I thought was right, and I was sick in the process because Sam, that's his name, he became my world. I mean, I had three other boys, but the health of the one was my focus. And so I learned that I had celiac, and in finding that out, they're like, just take gluten out. Well, I did. I still had the same symptoms. And I wasn't eating gluten-free bread and pretzels because those things, they were just starting to emerge when I learned that I was celiac. So I was sticking to fruits, vegetables, kind of like my son, all the things, whole foods. And I was still coming up with these stomach aches and infrequent bathroom habits. And I was like, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? And here I am again, researching, I'm back at it. I find this doctor in England and I run with what she tells me because I was like the same person I was with my son. What have I got to lose?
Yep.
I do it, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, this is the game changer. And it's all about taking care of the leaky gut.
Hmm.
When you heal up the leaky gut, the microscopic tears in your gut where food is getting into the bloodstream, when you start patching that up and you start absorbing, all of a sudden life gets to be happier, healthier. So in my method, I
Hmm.
start with food. And my theory is, let's start with food, because if you can't digest and absorb food, you can't digest and absorb supplements. We have to start with food. And we have to let your body heal. So I usually take people off exercise in the beginning. Just let's heal. I want you to get some, I want to get their circadian rhythm back. I want to balance out the nervous system. Take all the things off the plate. There's like, do this, all the doing, and just like hit the pause button, and we're just going to eat. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to eat some food.
Hmm. Which seems simple, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you've been under a gut. I mean, you and I have both been through hell and high water with certain gut issues. And it's like when you've done so many things and you just go strip it down, you're like, this can't be it. This can't be the answer, right? It has to be something more. Especially people who come to us who are maybe doing a lot of exercise, overachievers, high stress. It's like
Yeah.
it's not doing, it's being and just, especially understanding the psychology of this, that the vagus nerve and nervous system work and how much it just integrates into the gut, into gut healing. You
Right.
can't heal in a stressed out state. So yeah, the supplements ain't gonna do much if your body's just like, I'm tired, I'm stressed out, I don't want I don't want to heal.
Right. Right. And I learned that in the process of this, I had 20 years of anemia
Wow.
that finally healed. 20 years. 20
That's
years of living like a zombie. So from 20 to 40, living like a zombie. And I just was like, I honestly, after I helped my son, I was like, something's not right with me. And I thought this could be true. This couldn't be true. And I didn't know if I would live to see him graduate from high school. I just felt like so awful all the time. I was faking my life, faking it.
mm,
And that's a scary place to be when you have four young kids. My husband was traveling, and then when I did this gut healing protocol with food, I was like, I'm done running. I'm done doing stupid things. I'm so grateful to feel good. I'm so grateful to sleep through the night. I'm so grateful to have my fingernails grow. I'm so grateful to not have a short circuit and just because you're so punchy because you don't feel well or fall asleep at a stoplight. I actually had an enlarged heart
wow.
when I was 30, and they were trying to figure out why I was anemic. So I go into the cardiologist, they do an ultrasound. Oh, sorry to tell you, but you have an enlarged left ventricle. I was like,
Cool.
okay. Well, what I learned what I learned now, or recent, not recent, but after I healed my gut, was as the blood with the leaky gut, you can get goopy blood because there's improperly digested foods hanging out in your bloodstream, not supposed to be there. The blood, as it goes through that left ventricle, it stretches it out like a water balloon.
Mm,
I could have had a heart attack at any time because I was running marathons.
yep.
I'm so lucky I'm here. So that reversed too. I didn't take any medications for that,
Hmm.
and so I haven't taken iron tablets in 20 years, you
Yeah.
know, don't need them. And so when things start snowballing out of control, they can build up the other way and faster when your gut is healed.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy with the heart. I mean, you don't realize just the impact it has. I mean, I remember on a personal note, many people listening to this know my story, but I walked with a cane with horrific
Oh,
autoimmune disease. I went from wanting a bodybuilding show to walking with a cane, crippled, couldn't get out of bed on my own, was on 5 leaves a day, walked with a cane just to stand up. And that's when I was first introduced to gut healing because I had done all of the things. I was a personal trainer, as a nutritionist. I thought I knew it all, right? And that's like you,
me
right? Going
too.
through holistic nutrition, it is just one piece of that puzzle. And when you understand more of this functional side and this like gut healing, in 7 weeks, I was off the cane completely not completely pain free, but 70% pain free, not walking with a cane on maybe instead of 5 leaves, I was on like one. And it was like my life was rocked. And I was like, it was so simple too. Now I did it a different way than you, which is obviously there's different ways to do it. And I had many different things wrong that food wasn't touching. But it was like that showed me, holy shit, this is the power of the gut. I knew it, but when you go through it, like this was back in 20, I don't know, 17, you know, before everybody on, so I don't even know if Instagram was really around it, before
Yeah.
everybody was talking, and then now as a gut health coach. But I was like, wow, oh my God, I was taking all of this stuff like turmeric, like 5 times the amount of turmeric, and 5 times like, why is none of this working? Oh, wait a minute. I have like horrific gut issues and I'm not absorbing anything. But it's like same with the heart thing, same with it's like, wait a minute, my hair's starting to grow in my nails. Like I thought I just had really brittle nails. So that was just who I
Yep.
was. Whatever, everyone's like, I have a thyroid issue. It's like, well, you probably have a gut issue. It's like, that's why your thyroid's not getting the nutrients it needs. It's like all of these things starts magically falling into alignment instead of going to an endocrinologist and also your gastroenterologist and also like, going to all these people trying to piecemeal it together. I'm not saying don't do that, but it's like, this is really the root of that nervous system work, which is, I love that you blend those two together, is the basis of a lot of people's healing journeys. And even when it doesn't make sense, how many people come to you and they're like, I'm going through X, Y, but I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, actually, it does.
Yeah. I mean, the blood labs are clear. They're fine. I just spoke to a woman. She has 9 kids. She goes, I don't have thyroid issues. She goes, I just feel awful. And my labs are clean.
Always.
And I feel awful. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, you do have 9 children. You're busy. She goes, yeah, but I am used. She goes, this has been building for years. She goes, I'm just at my wit's end. I just talked to her Sunday about it. And she's like, I feel awful. And the good news is you don't have anything on your labs. That's great.
Yeah.
But you still don't feel good and they didn't give you a plan. That's where we come in, right?
So with that, let's say somebody comes in, because that's the story. Probably 80% of people coming, my labs are perfect. I feel like shit, right? That's, the baseline for a lot of people. And it's sad because it's only when things reach such a level
Yeah.
function. But, so if somebody comes to you, let's just say, what are the top 3 things you would suggest to somebody? Maybe they aren't wanting to start a program just yet. They want to kind of work on quotation gut healing. Like, what would be maybe a few things you would say to get started to just start healing and feeling a little better?
I would say if there is a food that you know doesn't agree with you, because people will say, I can have a little bit of dairy.
Yes.
So you're either pregnant or not. If you can have a little bit of dairy, you should be having dairy, period. So first of all, if there is a food that you can have a little bit of that won't bother you, that food needs to go, and just watch how much better you're going to feel.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is you don't have to do more exercise. That is the supplement to health. And if someone is feeling awful and they don't know what to do, spinning your wheels is going to make you more wired and tired, and it will exasperate your adrenals, and digestion will suck. And third, if you aren't pooping every day, we got to make some shit happen. That's the first order of business. You have to eliminate every single day, every day, every day, every day,
Every day. Every day.
every day. I don't care how we got to get it done. You have to eliminate. And doctors are telling people it's just how you are. No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
No,
Nope.
it's not. It's dangerous that people don't eliminate every day.
Mhm. And people saying, well, I only poop like every other day. That's just the way I've always been. Well, that's not the way you should be and not the way you're going to be going forward, girl. Like,
Body is too smart. It runs too well. there is something. I always tell people, if you're not pooping, there's something getting lost in translation in your body. Something's going on. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to poop to excrete toxins. If not, they recirculate like that. And, well, we won't have time to go down this rabbit hole, but yes, pooping every day. I love getting on calls, like discovery calls, and I'm like, Lisa, I'll be like, Lisa, I know you don't know me very well, and this is kind of a personal question, but how often are you pooping? And they've
Yeah.
been funny because no one's ever asked them that before, and it's like
And
every other
people
day.
love to talk about it.
Yeah.
They're
Because
happy someone asked them.
and that's what I think is important. Like Lisa, you just kind of call people out. You're like, this isn't normal. This is what you should be doing. Let's talk about poop. Let's normalize this poop conversation, especially as females, right? It's not a taboo thing. It's we learn so much from stool. Not only how much you're pooping, but what your poop looks like. I tell people all the time, I was like, is your poop floating today?
Yeah.
Is it shiny? And it's like we're so out of tune that we don't even understand that our stool tells us a story, so
It does. It does. And the stool and the process of getting there, are you pooping? I mean, do you have a stack of library books or magazines in your bathroom? Like, no. Put down the books and focus on what you're supposed to be doing, which is why I created my stress balls. Because when my clients tell me, oh, I've got magazines in the bathroom, I'm like, I don't want you reading a magazine. I don't want you on your phone. I want you thinking about that poop sliding out. Take a stress ball with you, but quit diverting your attention. It's not going to happen.
yeah, so true. And also for those of you listening and not watching our YouTube, Lisa has her own poop stress balls that she made. Yes, the poop emoji stress ball.
Cute.
So yeah, I mean that's so true. And get yourself probably a squatty potty too. Those things are awesome.
Squatty potty's great. Great. Do whatever. I don't care if you have to listen to music, light a candle, make it a ritual, but freaking make shit happen. Make it happen. Because, I mean, it is so incredibly like amazing for people who don't poop every day. They start moving mountains in their own life. I mean, the testimonies of people are like, I cannot believe this is what it feels like to poop every day. I'm like, let's
Yeah.
run with this.
100%. I mean, truly. I mean, I think that's just goes the same with health in general. It's like, wait, I didn't know this was what well felt like, but it's a game changer when people poop every day and are not constipated. They're like, wait, I just feel so much better. And bonus, all these other things start falling into place,
Yeah, because when you're stuck in your body, you're stuck in your mind, you're stuck in your emotions, you're stuck in life.
Yeah.
That's why my slogan is make shit happen, because it will happen in your life. You will feel lighter. You'll have better energy flow. You'll be a nicer person. Nobody is happy when they're not pooping. Nobody. But they've become used to it and it's become a norm.
For sure. For
Mhm.
sure. And the norm isn't not feeling good. So
No, it's sad. It's awful for people.
I know, which is why there's people like you and I, it's like, we know what the other side looks like. Come join us. The other
Yes.
side's beautiful.
Yes.
But if people wanted to connect more with you and figure out kind of what you're doing, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Lisa Garrett Nutrition. You can find me on Facebook, Lisa Garrett. Lisa Garrett Nutrition. You can find me on TikTok, Lisa Garrett Nutrition, and my website, lisagarrettnutrition.com. So it's all the same.
Very easy. Good to
Super
remember.
simple. Just make shit happen. Please, 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 please.
Oh, I love it so much. Well, thank you for being here. And definitely, I will make sure to put her information down in the show notes, as well as I think she has a freebie that you're
Yep.
giving us. So go check that out as well, about gut health. So thank you for being here. And I would
Thank
love it
you.
if you guys listening, go shoot
Thank
her a
you.
DM. Tell her how much this helped. Shoot me a DM too if you found this helpful. And otherwise, we will catch you guys on the next show. Bye.
Thank you.